Hey, this is Annie Veblen McCarty, and I'm going to teach you how to be effortlessly productive. I've been an entrepreneur for over 20 years, and I got sick and tired of experts preaching what business and life should look like and what I should be doing as a leader and to turn a profit, only to find myself wasting time, burned out, feeling inauthentic, and still not making any money. On this show, we are ditching the shoulds. I'm giving you permission to do business differently. As a certified master coach, I believe that everything you need to have success and build the life and business of your dreams is already living on the inside. I'm going to empower you to lean into what you do best, help you see your path forward clearly, and give you the strategy and action steps along the way to become effortlessly productive. Let's dive in. Welcome. I am so happy you are here. Today's episode, we are going to dive into how to get started with automation in your business. For those of you who don't know me, I'm an automation specialist. I have a background in computer programming, in web design, in coding, in all those things. What I really specialize in is business systems. That background of mine and all of that computer science and computer design led me to really dive into automating and systematizing for people's businesses, including my own, including my husband's. So we are going to jump into this and answer all of your questions on how to get started. I know for a lot of people, automations in your business, especially if you are somebody who, and I'm going to use some air quotes for those who are listening to the podcast who are not techie people, where technology maybe does not come as naturally, where it takes you maybe a little bit longer than other people to figure out and adopt. The idea of implementing business automations can be a little bit out of the comfort zone, right? So that is part of why we are doing this episode. But you also might just be wondering, what all can I automate in my business? How do I get started with this? Really, the real question we are answering here, how do you make your business easier? How do you get more done in a day without you personally actually having to work harder? That is how we can have bigger and bigger success and scale our business to the next level without completely killing ourselves, burning ourselves out, and really just getting sick and tired of what we are doing because we are overworking ourselves. We don't want to go to that place. And that is why I am so passionate about helping entrepreneurs and business owners put those systems into place and automate as much as they possibly can. So the first thing I'd like to chat about is, what can you automate? Because not everything can be automated. There are certain things in our business that we have to have a human touch. There are also certain things in your business that you do like no other person, and you really need to be the one holding on to those. However, there is a handful of things in your business that you probably do over and over and over again. And it's sort of the same thing, the same process, the same message that you are sending each and every time. And those are the types of things, if it is the same thing over and over, and it really does not actually require human input, we can automate that. So some examples to give you are scheduling appointments with clients. How often do you go back and forth in messages or emails or even on the phone with people about what time zone they are in compared to where you are, about what your availability is, what their availability is on Thursdays? Their kids get out of school early or they have to pick up from preschool, like whatever the case is. I know I used to spend a ton of time just figuring out a time that would work for both of us to meet with my clients and schedule times. We can automate this process by having an online scheduler, an online calendar where we set our availability. the client is able to pick a time from that availability that works for them. The online calendars will automatically know what time zones everybody is in, as long as the person on the other end sets their time zone correctly on the calendar, which hopefully they can select where they are. And then they can book it. It can go automatically onto your calendar, onto their calendar. And then we can also do things like automating call reminders. How many times are you sending messages to people or saying, hey, just a reminder, your appointment is tomorrow? That can be automated by a system. Some other examples are if, let's say, somebody fills out a form to register for a workshop, or even let's take a step back. Let's say that you are holding a workshop and you are taking manual RSVPs via email. People are saying, I want to come. And then you have to send them all the information about where the call is, what time it is, what the link is. You can set up an online form that people can fill out. When they submit that form, they get an email, or the following page shares all of that information. Again, they get reminders of when that workshop is happening to make sure that they are there. They can add it to their calendar. So that's another example. Even things like email sequences. Let's say somebody requests a free offer that you have, a freemium, sometimes they're called, or an opt-in. So let's say somebody requests that and you are manually sending that out. That can be automated. We can actually automate an entire email sequence that goes out after that maybe shares some helpful tips for them, that shares about an upcoming event or workshop that you have to teach them more, that shares about a recorded video training that you have already done. The options are limitless. Maybe you want to share about a program or a coaching offer that you have, something that they can take the next step and stay with you on their journey as a customer. That can be automated. I want you to turn your thoughts to social media. So let's say people are commenting on your social media posts. We can actually automate social media comment responses to people. We can automate social media DM responses. There are so many things that we can automate. We can even automate to help keep ourselves on track. Let's say that you need to follow up with people. So somebody requests information and you send it to them about your program or your offer or your products, and you want to follow up with them in a few days. You can actually automate a task reminder for you to check in with them. Or if you are okay with not having that be quite as personalized for them, we can actually automate that check-in response going to them. So there are so many things. This is literally just the tip of the iceberg on things that you can automate in your business. Now, if you listened to my past episodes, you know me, I do not believe that one thing fits every single business owner and entrepreneur. We all have things that we are really good at and that we need to hold on to. We all have things that we do slightly differently in our businesses, or at least I believe that we should be doing things slightly differently in all of our businesses. We want to take what this works really well for other people and experiment with that. However, if it's not working great for us, we need to tweak that. We need to be intuitive enough and insightful enough and aware of ourselves enough so that we can say, hey, like that might work great for them. However, I need to do things a little bit differently than that. So I cannot just sit here on this podcast and give you a list of things that you should automate in your business. Again, I am putting air quotes around that should for all of my listeners. I do not believe in shoulds. However, I hope that me sharing all of that stuff with you of things that you can automate helped get those wheels turning of some things that might be helpful in your business. Maybe it's some things you had never even thought of before, or it sparked another idea of like, oh, well, that's not exactly what she said. However, like I have this other idea of something that would work really well to be automated. something that I am doing over and over and over again that I could possibly have a computer do for me. So let's chat about, what do you need to automate? I'm going to give you a little homework assignment today. I would like you to pay attention over the next few days of your business. Let's also dive into our personal lives as well. If there are things that you are doing on repeat over and over and over again, that is sort of the same process for whatever it is. So it also maybe doesn't require a human brain, but it's more of just like commenting back to people. If you're sending the exact same couple of comments, if you are, again, going back and forth with people on scheduling, if there are things in your business that you are doing over and over, or in your personal life that you are doing over and over, that there is some kind of computer capability that we could do that, then let's start making a list. That is your homework assignment, is to start making a list of those things. To number one, pay attention to what they are and start making a list of those things. I also really want you to tune into your energy. Is this something that's feeding your energy and that you love doing? Or is it something that is kind of a drain? Maybe it's something in the back of your mind that you constantly are thinking about that you don't love doing. It's one of those things that drags you down. I call those things an energy leak, right? It's constantly sapping and leaking your energy. Those are things that ideally, as we start to automate and delegate in our business, that we are leaning into my effortlessly productive framework. How we are going to get you to that place of being effortlessly productive is to start to take some of those things that are a drain, that are an energy leak, and figuring out how to get those done without you personally actually doing that. So those are the kind of things that I am talking about that I want you to put on this list. And then the next step is going to be figuring out how to automate them. So usually with automations, we are talking about some kind of computer software. So it might be an online software. It might be an actual application. There are lots of different options out there. I will do an entirely different episode because I could talk forever on how to pick an appropriate software to do what you need to do to automate. I am a huge proponent of choosing all-in-one softwares. So it's not to say that you have to choose a software that does everything on the entire planet if you won't need every single thing on the entire planet done in your business. However, I also want you to not just think about your business right now. I want you to think into the future. I want you to think 1 year from now, and even try to go out 5 years from now. What are all of the things that you might want or need in your business 5 years from now? Is it a website? Is it sales funnels? Is it premium opt-ins? Is it online courses? Is it sharing some kind of workshop or recording with people? Is it sending emails to people, text messaging, the social media commenting that I was talking about, even posting social media content, calendars, scheduling, keeping track of where people are in your sales flow? We have so many different things that we might want some kind of computer software, even if it's not fully automated, but that we might want in our business. And so making that list of all of those things that you foresee you wanting in your business. And I highly recommend, as you start to look for software solutions, that you find something that is going to fit all of those boxes in the future. Now, obviously, we need to be cost conscious as well about our business expenses. So I am not saying to go out and invest in something that is going to cost you $5,000 a year if you don't have $5,000 a year to invest. However, from personal experience here, I switched software solutions, even just my email marketing. I switched over and over and over and over again as my business grew and as I needed more features, as I needed things like email automation, as I needed to be able to send to a bigger and bigger email list. So I want you to save you all of that time and headache that I went through of changing softwares over and over and over again as my business grew, and ideally start with something that is going to encompass as many things as you possibly can. The other reason for this, when we start stacking different softwares, so let's say you have your website in one place and email marketing in another place and social media stuff in another place, we then have to figure out how to get everything to talk to each other. And especially if you don't have as good of a tech background or knowledge or want to mess with that, the more things you stack and try to get talking together, the more complicated it is, the more tech knowledge that you need. You might actually need some like web coding ideas on how to like copy and paste web code. And for some people, that's like a hard no. They're like, I am not going to figure that out. I would need somebody else to do that for me. And then we're at the point where we have to hire somebody. So that is part of why I am also a really big proponent of finding something that's kind of housed all in the same system. Also, software stacking can get really expensive, right? Because right now it might just be the website. And then you're like, oh, well, I need something to send out emails to people, and I need something to automate, and I need a calendar system. And before we know it, we have 5 or 6 or 10, or I've even seen entrepreneurs with like 20 different subscriptions to different softwares, and they're having a nightmare trying to make it all talk to each other. And they're spending a fortune every single month where they could have had an all-in-one solution, and it's a lot less expensive and a lot less of a headache. Things work better. So that is part of what my recommendation would be for you on choosing software, and part of why I am such a huge proponent for all-in-one softwares. If you're looking for somewhere to start, I actually have my own software that I have worked with a development team to put together and that I help run and offer to clients and support clients with. It is called Coach OS. If you are interested in looking into that, you can go to os.avmcoaching.com and check it out. It is absolutely amazing and is exactly what I wanted in my software. It's part of why I had it designed, is I was like, I want something that I want to use designed, but also be able to share that with other people, because I have people come to me all the time asking, what should I be using for this? And I wanted to be able to offer them something that I could put my name behind and that I was super proud of. So part of why I worked with the development team to have my own software created. So if you are looking, if you are curious, if you are not sure where to start, go check that out. Obviously, if you have something you already love, stick with what is working for you and what you already love. This is not like you have to go change or switch or anything like that. So moving on to the last thing I want to share with you today in this episode, we have to then implement these automations. And especially when we are first getting started, maybe that is feeling a little bit intimidating. Maybe you don't know, you still, even after listening to this episode, you don't know where to start. And you are questioning whether you should do it, how you're going to do it, all of those questions that come to mind. And so I think it's really important for us to ask ourselves, even if you were an automations expert like I am, it's still important to ask ourselves, is this a good use of my time and my resources? I.e., usually when we say that, we're talking about money. Is it a good use of my time and the money that I have to implement this stuff myself, or to have somebody implement it for me, to build it for me? And this is a really important question. And the reason I said, obviously, as a beginner, if you are a little bit maybe not so confident in doing it yourself, we need to look at that, right? We need to look at how much time is it going to take you to learn it, to figure it out, And what could you be doing for that time in your business instead, right? When we spend time, when we are investing our time in something, it's not just the time that we are spending on that thing that we are doing, that we are learning, that we are trying to figure out, but we are also taking time away in our business from something else that we could be doing that maybe would be generating more revenue and income for us. So it's not just the investment of time in one place, it's also the loss of time in other places. I often find, especially people who are just getting started in their entrepreneur journey, they feel like they have to do it all themselves because they haven't made a ton of money to be able to invest. However, it's really important to also think about, are you taking time away from other activities that might be earning that income that would actually pay for somebody else to be doing it for you? Also, could they do it in like 5 or 10 minutes and it would take you 4 or 5 hours to do? Maybe that also comes into the equation. I will also share, even as an expert, even with a degree in web design and a huge background in computer programming, I still have other people do things for me, like build and design websites sometimes. If I am in a season of my business where that is not my best time investment, it is sometimes more worthwhile to pay somebody else to do it for me. So this is not just an equation if you are just getting started in your business or if you are just getting started with automations. This also needs to come into play in your business as you grow and as you continue. As a 20-year entrepreneur, I still have things that, yes, I could do them very capably and very well. However, sometimes I am in a season of business where it makes more sense for me to pay somebody else to do that. So I just want to close this episode out by offering the thought that just because you can do something does not mean that this is the season where you need to be doing that thing or should be doing that thing. Again, going back to being effortlessly productive, how we get to be effortlessly productive is really being smart and thinking about and constantly asking ourselves, is this the best use of my time? Is this the best use of my energy too, right? Because it comes back to our energy. Where else in our life are we pulling that energy from? We have a limited amount of time for sure. We also have a limited amount of energy. So you are not just pulling your time from something else, you're pulling your energy from something else. And maybe that energy, you would rather be going into your kids, your family, something else going on in your personal life, other things in your business that you are excited about and working on right now. And if that is the case, I would love to give you permission. If you cannot give it to yourself, go find somebody else who can implement these things for you. Go find somebody that you can pay to do this for you. Or maybe you can do an exchange. Entrepreneurs and business owners love to trade things with each other because we all need things done. So get creative. Maybe there's somebody that you can trade services with who can implement that for you. Maybe there is another creative solution that you come up with. So think about all of that. We are going to wrap up today. I hope this episode got your wheels turning on all of the things that you are excited in your business to automate and systematize to make things easier on you so that you can pour your time and your energy into the areas of your business and your life that you want to be putting that into. And one of the pieces on your journey for being effortlessly productive. Thank you so much for tuning in. I can't wait to share more with you on the next episode.